And drop it down quickly.
Okay. So we'll call the meeting to order. It is 7:08. Thanks, everybody, for coming out in this awful storm. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. I made it in a second.
Okay.
Thanks, Karen. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and moving on to the minutes for May. Did everyone have a chance to review them? Get a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to.
Sorry. Karen, do you want to second? All right. Did anybody have any corrections, any edits, comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to the director's report. Glad you can do that. Let's see something.
Upcoming programs, we have a lot happening in the next couple of months, and this is actually only part of it, because I still have yet to put in my summer reading program stuff that we're gonna do for kids and teens for July, which I'm gonna be working on tomorrow. So we do have team night coming up tomorrow. Fingers crossed kids show up. We'll see what happens. It's always a bit of a.
Are you set for help?
Yeah, Rebecca and I'll be there together,
Okay.
so it should be fine. We are doing natural dyeing, plant printing, yoga for kids. Our big thing coming up this summer reading kickoff with the Birds of Prey that's happening. It's a new program coming. It's not the same one we've used in the past few years. So they should have different animals that they're gonna be bringing, and apparently they have a lot of different stuff, lots of things for kids to touch, and they have a lot of resources that they're gonna share with us, which is great. Two big things, well, we're gonna do firefighter story time, so that'll be fun. That's always a very, very happy day. And then we are starting a chair yoga program on July 26th. We're doing an emergency preparedness program, and we are doing an Android class to teach people how to use their Android devices. And it's a 5-week program, 2 days a week, for just an hour, but it's also completely free, which is fantastic.
I just saw, just a note, the resident, new resident, I think we said 11 to 1 with music at 1. Is that right, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, so just to, yeah, just to fill that in.
I will, yes. Right, so Scott Connors is going to do some live music for us. He had reached out to me first. And so when we thought, what else can we do with the bagel brunch? Then it was like, let's see if he wants to do it. That was a great idea.
Do we need to bring food to that? Did we last time?
I think we said people can, yeah, not required.
A couple of fruit.
Yes, that was the community fruit salad.
Yeah.
Should we do that again, or?
Well, it's not in the press release, so
Okay.
I could have it in the press release.
It hasn't gone out yet, right? So, okay.
Okay. We have been, our programs have been well attended lately. We do have, you can see my statistics for the month in June. John Wall is still using the building for yoga, and I did let them know that we're not doing story time, or excuse me, not story time. We're not doing summer camp here at the library. So they were happy to hear that, and they don't have to vacate for the month of July.
Quick question on like the baby cafe. Are they happy with if there's just like that amount of attendance, or are they?
No, they understand that it's gonna take some time. So they're willing to give it some time.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I keep telling everybody, tell people at the stories morning. We'll see. And the fact that we still have people coming for the tech help, I think is a really good thing. There's only a few, so. Flip that last. Circulation is kind of platform to, it's not doing one or the other, it's just gonna stay where it is, so that's pretty good. It's not actually looks like it might have gone up a little bit for adult books as well as kids books. And our visits have gone down over the month of May, which is very interesting. I don't know why, so we'll be keeping an eye on that as well.
Looks like it was a similar pattern in 2022,
Yeah,
so
that's actually very true.
didn't, I mean, without having the, yeah,
Yeah, the red line's gonna be a
Yeah.
big
oh,
change.
yeah.
It's not gonna be a norm. for
No.
us. Our registered cards, we got 5 more patrons over the month of May, adults, sorry, and 3 more kids, which was very nice to see. And then I did do a big withdrawal this summer, or DVDs, this for the collection, if anyone wants any, they're all over there. A ton of DVDs that people just are not taking out, so
Mhm.
we withdrew those from the collection. In terms of things that I've been doing, ran the committee, DA meeting, the main conversation at the DA meeting was the Schenectady County Public Library System, trying to become, what's the library system, which is, just in the start of discussions, so that it's really not going to affect us in any way soon. Did attend an ECAC, which is the E-Content Advisory Committee, town board, cookbook fundraiser. I did some work helping with getting the scholarship together, so we now have a scholarship winner, Caitlin Miller. She's wonderful, and actually she used to be a Storytime patron, so that was kind of nice to see. A lot of work on summer camp. So summer camp applications are due on the 21st. So far, I wrote that we have 20 applications, but we just had a bunch come in yesterday and today, so we're up to about 34, I think. We have 60 as the max, so we're doing good. Our insurance company wanted to change our insurance policy so that it did not cover abuse and molestation should something happen at camp, which to me doesn't make any sense if you have a camp in some place that says so. So we're working, our insurance company, it was looking into trying to find provider or policies that will cover that. I also then spoke with Jennifer Van Tuzen of Metswood Harder. She works with a lot of libraries in the area, and she is now going to be, we're going to be moving our policies to her so that we're face to face, we can talk, and she was one of the ones who said, we need these policies, that's not a good thing to go for, so. The policies, actually, I just had to fill out a ton of paperwork today and yesterday, and hopefully we should be able to get us some quotes by tomorrow, if not Monday. So,
What's her name again? I'm sorry.
Jennifer.
Jen Van Dusen.
Oh, you're gonna.
Jessica and Taylor held interviews for summer camp yesterday. They had we had a tremendous amount of people apply this year, which is much different than last year. 'Cause last year we could barely cover everything. So they did hire, I don't remember how many people they hired, but they hired quite a bit. There were 2 people that they couldn't hire. And they have 9 volunteers, which is, our volunteers are the kids who are not old enough to be a counselor, yet yet too old to be in camp. So they're 14. So they kind of become extra campers, so to speak. But the junior counselor, we have senior counselors, we have junior counselors, and then we have the counselors in training. But
Cool.
so there's gonna be 3 volunteers per group,
Wow.
which is a lot, so but hopefully we'll be okay.
Did you see that New Lebanon had to have a special meeting today because they haven't been able to staff up enough for their summer camp? I mean, their summer camp is twice the size and twice as long as ours, but
Wow.
yeah, so they're struggling, and they met and they increased their pay. Yeah, so.
Wow, that's, I didn't know about that, that's
Mm.
crazy. We had too many and they don't have enough.
Mm.
I wonder if we could send some of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Berlin Library had been collecting applications for their scholarship, which is wonderful. They've had donors give money so that their residents can come to our summer camp. And just found out that they've awarded 2 full-time kids, and there's gonna be 2 kids who are doing 1 week at a time, I think. So, but it's great, so they're gonna be able to come and send their kids here, so I did speak to one parent who was extremely grateful and extremely happy. She got a scholarship for 2 of her kids and was just like above and beyond. So it was really good. I did contact the Rensselaer County Department of Health to find out and make sure that we are in fact doing the right thing when it comes to our, what we are in terms of our, sort of looking for qualifications.
Yeah,
As a summer camp.
I kind of opened this can of worms because when looking for the requirements for the AED and for the CPR training for the directors, it opened this whole question of, well, what kind of camp are we? And I was like, we're not really a real camp. And I was like, what does that mean? And we say we're a camp, and much panic ensued, and Kim researched to get our full story.
So the panic came from, we found an old document in our records that showed a camp plan. And that camp plan would have been used if we were a permanent camp, which we are not. We are considered a day program, which means that we have 1 hour or 1/5 of the time that the kids are at camp of physical activity that is non-passive with the risk of injury. So we qualify for the exemption because we are under that limit. We're actually at, if we did it by the 1/5, we're way under the 1/5. So it's really just a matter of liability. And what the town, or excuse me, what the county and the state will then permit based on what kinds of liability you're exposing your kids to. So we are considered an educational day program. We can't call ourselves a camp. Because that's what it is, but I sat and spoke to the guy on the phone and we went over every single little detail of our camp and how it works. So we meet that exemption. So that means we do not need a permit, which if we did need a permit, we would all be in big trouble because we'd need to get water supply tested and all of the regulations, and that could cost tens of thousands of dollars to do. So, because the library and the fire department are not sources of potable water. It just goes into like, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper into the hole.
Do we need to market it differently since we're not really a camp? That's not an issue.
No, it's all fine. It's like I said, it's really just about the liability and they're gonna do stuff. So we were concerned that the staff training that they needed, some kind of medical training, that we needed a medical director, which we do not. So we're doing
There's different hiring standards. There's just a bunch of stuff that's,
above and beyond what we
Yeah.
should be doing.
yeah.
So, so camp is good, so we don't have to worry anymore. Now that I know, it's written up and we can say this is where it is. Jess and Taylor have also been very active in getting activities planned and trips planned. I just saw on our Amazon account that they just ordered a whole bunch of supplies, which is fantastic, which means it's gonna be fun. So the only other thing is that, they are going to have the kids do their training, which we just talked about yesterday. They're gonna do orientation with the kiddos on July 3rd. They're gonna meet here, and then they're gonna hopefully be able to throw all the stuff that's in the closet or in the shed in their cars and bring them up to the fire hall. There's a small chance we might need help from board members if they don't have enough adults to do it, so I'll be around. I don't know if anyone else can just, let me know if you're available.
I should probably be.
Okay,
I'm available.
okay, so
When is that?
it's just to help out bringing supplies to the fire hall, so we're moving all of,
What date?
oh, sorry, the 3rd.
What time?
What did they say? Of course I didn't. I'll let you know. Oh, actually, I won't be here that day. I picked Braylon up from Boise State, so that was the thing. I will not be here, so. If somebody could at least be around just to make sure everything's. I think they are gonna start at 9, if I remember. So moving on from summer camp, that's just been a lot of stuff this past couple weeks. we just had a training for the staff and myself on the tablets that we got for the library. They are now in the system. They are, I just have to get a couple more things together to make sure that they're ready to go out. But we've got a big old training on how to wipe them clean, how to add apps, how to do all this other stuff. Elaine, I think, is gonna give me a hand with keeping track of all of that stuff, so it's not gonna be all on my shoulders too. So when they come back in, she'll know how to wipe them and make sure everything is, back to the way we had it when we lent them out. The one thing that I did find out too is that patrons can't put anything on these tablets. So it's not like, they can go and put some weird apps on there. They don't have access to that. They do have access to the internet and they do have, if they have Netflix and they're going on a vacation, it's a 2-week or it's a week program, they can take the thing, have a hotspot, have access to the cell phone service. Where, watch Netflix and then bring it back. So it's a pretty good system, I think.
So the basic apps and stuff like that are,
Whatever we decide.
okay,
So I have a list of apps I want to put back on there because we haven't done that yet, but
okay.
there, I do have one of the tablets in my office if you guys want to see that later on, but it has a lot of really, I just put basic stuff on for now. But we're gonna put other things on, Pinterest and Etsy and the BBC and all these other, podcasts and different stuff, so. I just have to remember how to do all of that because it was a little complicated. But we do have full-time, like anytime we need help, we can just call, contact the people at whatever it is, and they'll help us with it. All right, I already talked about the Matt's Wood Harder, our bank, which has been Capcom Federal Credit Union, has switched over to Broadview Federal Credit Union, and that has been, the full switch just happened that last weekend, 2 weekends ago. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a bit trying for all of us, so it wasn't as smooth as we had thought it was. Right now, I have access to everything.
You're seeing the credit card?
I didn't have a
Okay,
check in a while, so I'm not sure about the credit card.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not, since it's a known.
No problem,
Yeah.
so. Just so everybody knows that it's been a bit of a challenge dealing with all of that stuff, so. We are still able to make payer bills and do all that, so it hasn't really affected us in terms of what we can and can't do, except for the credit card account. Which I just paid with the old school way with a check through the mail. Lots of updates have been made to the website and. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
No way was able to give me a hand with it, so we were able to put some pictures on the homepage. I also found out that last month was Veterans Mental Health Resources Month. So I was able to get a bunch of information and I just put up a whole bunch of stuff. I made a separate page for their resources. I let them know, and hopefully if they have more things they want, I can just quickly put it back up on the site. So they're pretty happy about that. Memorial book for Vicky is still out front. If anyone wants to do anything, Paul, Vicky's husband, did just come in recently. Gave us back her key, which was a little tough, but he saw the book and was very, very moved by it. So, I'd like to see more people get more stuff on there. So if anyone wants to, I'll probably have it out maybe through the end of the summer, just so that we can keep it out. But he was very touched by the book, but then also by everything at the library community, to have all of us at the funeral. It meant a lot to him. He was very appreciative. And then yesterday we were supposed to be closed for Juneteenth, but because of the heat, I said, I'll come in and, oh no, spend my day in an air conditioned building. Terrible. So,
Oh, wait, should we not? I was like, oh, Kim is so great. So grateful for her for doing that. Oh.
It worked out well. We had 20 people came to the library yesterday, which was a decent number just in general. And we had about, we had like about two families, one family and one other person who came specifically because we were open for the heat. So at least we were here for that was great. And I didn't write anything in here, but summer reading is getting underway. I'm planning all of that, getting it all set up and ready to go. Hopefully we'll be ready for all of that tomorrow, actually, with programs planned and all that other fun stuff.
Thank you, Kim. That's a lot. And I just want to point out, I know Kim covered a lot of stuff that's coming up in other agenda items. And also when you look at all of this, you know, like you look at the programs, like Kim scheduled all those programs. Kim's here for all those programs. Kim did all of this. Kim attended this meeting. Kim attended every committee meeting. Kim did the camp work. She's meeting with this. Every time we have a question, that's Kim's up on the hook to answer those questions. You know, every time if she spends, you know, we have a problem with the bank account, that's an hour. It's an hour of a very small amount of time that Kim had. An hour and a half, yeah.
At least.
Yeah, so it's just, I wish there was something more we could do about this at this point, but at least if we just keep recognizing that it's a tremendous amount of work in a small amount of time. It's not just that it's the amount of work, it's that you don't have a lot of hours in the week to do this and you're accomplishing a lot and appreciate it.
That's just what this time of year, it's
Yeah.
the time of year is where this stuff is all going, so.
Well, thank you. Any other questions for Kim? So Richard's not here tonight, so we have his report. So to give just a quick recap, so I was like about 2.5 hours, 2 days trying to resolve some of this broad view stuff. Right now, we also don't have access to our statements. Apparently the credit card and the statements are a known issue. We were able to get a customer service person to email us the last statement so Kim can balance the books. And I gotta tell you, talking to these folks inspires absolutely no confidence in anything. I hope our money is okay. It's just. Oy. So I don't know if Richard looked into the CD,
I don't,
or.
if he did, I don't know.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to follow up with him on that, and the money with the bequest money and.
Which I'll talk to Jody about, and
Okay.
she will be getting us that soon.
Okay. The other thing, the financials end of things, Kim, you wanted to get the Amazon credit card?
Yeah, I was looking into, we spend, I mean, the majority of what we buy is on Amazon, Walmart, but the majority of like supplies and things come from them. So I was going to look into, the Amazon credit card. And see if we can do that, because it gives 5% back on purchases. So I know personally I have that, and it's like, oh, like $10 to put towards another, you know, it seems to me that it would be something that would probably benefit us. I just haven't had a chance to go through and see how we could apply as a business. Or if we can, you know, if it would just have to be under someone's name, I'm not sure, so but I did want to see if we could do that, because I think that's a good idea. And it's not like we don't pay our credit card off after
Right.
immediately anyway, so
Right.
it's just be the one to work on. So, yeah, I thought that would be a good idea, unless anyone else, any other questions about it or, you know, concerns about doing it.
I had one question on the budget versus actuals on the income under program. We have 1,000 in.
That is the stewards
Oh,
program
okay.
money,
Okay.
so that's going towards summer reading.
Okay, so that's we budgeted 750, but we have 1,000 because we have
Yeah.
stewards that was unexpected. Okay.
Is the budget column for the whole year, like through December or?
No, it's good year.
Mhm. And we can talk about this, I guess, so the repairs and maintenance, we haven't paid for the door yet, right?
No.
Okay, and we know we've got some landscaping stuff, but so we still have quite a bit of money in that line.
Right.
So we probably need to try to come up with the list of the things that are anticipated for this year and see if we're gonna be okay with that.
Did Kirk come by and give you a bid?
No, he said he needed to, he gave me a bid for one, but then realized that the door needs to be.
Yeah, he said he was
different.
gonna come give you another one, but I guess he hasn't.
No, I haven't heard from him since then, so.
It's impossible with everybody, just.
Yeah.
That's all I hear from
Yeah.
anybody who's doing anything with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, yeah, no follow-up, no
Yeah.
anything, no completion.
Mhm.
nothing. Okay, cool. Any other questions on finances, treasurer stuff? Okay, moving on to committees. Brand and marketing.
Okay, just a couple things that I think we need to focus on, because Kim covered off on a whole lot of the stuff that we discussed already in the marketing meeting this month. The July 21st new resident welcome event is coming up, and I prepared a press release, which a number of people, Deborah, Jen gave some input into. And so we would be able to send this out early next week to all of our carriers to get the word out. We still need to follow up with our sister organizations that came the last time to invite them and let them know it's an opportunity, please, an opportunity to share their materials and tell new folks about their organizations and what they do. As mentioned, Scott Connors is going to play afterwards, which should be a really good draw, I hope, and make people more interested in coming than they might otherwise have been. The other thing is the fall cookbook fundraiser. There's a question as to what date we want to go with that we want to discuss, and I think we'll discuss that when we get to fundraising.
Sure.
We have a lot out already on that. So aside from the date, we have flyers out, we have social media, the webpage has been created, sent emails to solicit the recipes. And how are we doing with getting recipes in?
Slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've gotten a few. We also got a donation in support of the cookbook from somebody and who's also going to submit a recipe. But I did hear from several people who were like, well, what's the deadline? I need a deadline. I need a deadline. So so what we can incorporate a deadline to that.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah,
We need it yesterday.
I actually spoke to somebody on the phone who is he's been coming to Stephentown since 1955, 94 years old, and he's very excited about the book. He's going to be sending us a recipe. I said, you just mail it to me, and so we were able to get that to happen. So he's gonna be mailing a recipe, but he's also excited because his son will be in Stephentown, and his son will definitely like him as well. So it's drawing some interest from Ohio, at least.
So the one thing is we were trying to make sure that we have enough recipes and material coming in before we reach out to sponsors. I don't know how you're feeling about that. Still hold off on that.
Maybe just a little bit. I think it's gonna be fine, but
How many recipes are you hoping?
50, we were saying is kind of 50 would
The minimum,
would be
yeah.
minimum,
mhm.
How many do we
How
have?
many do we have?
like 2.
No, I think it's maybe like 6. Yeah, oh, everybody is sworn to at least deliver one. Yes, yeah. No, I think we'll be fine, but yeah, I also, well, we're hitting up places a lot with stuff, and I know that the fire department's about to hit up these same people too.
Yeah, and that's why you don't want a false start to say we're
Right,
gonna do something.
yeah.
And they go,
Yeah.
okay, well, and then you don't do it.
Right,
That
yeah.
would be
Yeah.
worse than not hitting them up at all, so.
Is this something that maybe the people who are part of the historical society would like to contribute to this?
I imagine so. I'm bringing the flyers to the strawberry hulling tomorrow, so
Great, okay.
I'm hoping they'll be for the strawberry
They
festival.
certainly would have good photos and things like that to contribute for the art, so that would be really cool. I put some photos in and.
I mean, we
artwork.
also have the old recipes from the one that they did for the bicentennial, so we can grab stuff from there
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Rick said he talked to you about his.
Yeah,
his
I have to
recipe.
call him because the recipe, I think, the one I had, it's not what I think he wanted to have in there, so.
But when we do get to the point, if we are moving forward, which it sounds like we most likely will be with sponsors, we need to sort of split up.
Yes.
Who's gonna go and initially talk to each of the restaurants or establishments to let them know this is happening. And then there's an email already drafted. It might have to be cleaned up a little bit that we'll follow up with. But if I can sort of get everybody to agree that there's one or two of the local establishments they'd be willing to talk to, that would be great, so it's.
When is the fire department hitting people up?
Like starting tomorrow.
Oh, really? So maybe wait a month? and then hit people, right? Like, space it out a little.
Yeah,
maybe a
that's what
couple
I'm-
weeks.
Mm,
right?
yeah,
Give me
yeah, at
time.
least a couple weeks or something, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just about the website, lots of great progress on everything. We still need a bio from you,
Yeah.
Karen, and we still need a photograph from you.
Yeah, the only one who's still, oh, no, wait, I'll have somebody up here coming soon too.
And our next brand, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
What that?
I didn't realize I was interrupting, but I.
Oh, no, you're good.
And the next marketing committee meeting will be on July 8th. So I'm not gonna be during.
Okay, on the subject of hitting people up / new resident welcome. What would you think about getting the bagels from Mavericks instead of,
Sure.
so we
I
do
think it
keep it
makes
local?
Much
Yeah.
of a difference, honestly, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that way we, okay,
I'll raise my hand to do that,
okay, thank you. Thank you.
and butter, I think.
Okay, and then, oh yeah, so I wanted to just mention, so at the town board meeting, John DeFreeze mentioned again that they're still looking to get more people for the war on terror or, just in general, veterans, but they know that they need more from the last 40 years to put on the wall. And also they need help with their gardens, so we agreed to help them with that. So I have Facebook posts scheduled for, I took pictures today at the park. I've got the posts scheduled for Friday and Saturday, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's.
And then I thought we could just add the garden help one to the call to action section of the website, which I can do if you want. I can just do that.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so I will do that. And he was extremely grateful for our assistance, including the fact that it means a lot to them that we host the November meeting. He really was quite effusive about it. So I think we are doing well in that area.
Make sure it's on my calendar for next year.
So they want help with the garden and what else?
They want to find more local people who are veterans that served during the international, like, or served in the last 40 years to be able to get onto the wall, put their name on the wall. Because they know that they must be, missing some of those more recent veterans. I'm gonna ask David if we can share that post from the fire department side as well. I think there's just even some fire department members who meet that qualification, so.
Thank you for doing that.
No problem. And I figure maybe just share it a couple times, we'll just I'll go back in and repost them in a couple weeks, that kind of thing. Okay. Anything else on Brandon marketing? Cool, thank you. Policies, Scott, you sent us a revised internet and code of conduct.
I don't recall. Historically, where we got the first draft policy from,
Where we got the what?
first draft policy.
Oh,
I think I just went to the various libraries and picked one that I thought.
That's what I did. I gave you the first one, the
Okay,
first draft, and I just went to all of them. I think, and I kind of picked some shows.
Was, I mean, it would have been done. Mary Travis, I recall, spent a long time, right? That was not.
No,
it
no.
was,
Just went on, wait, John and her husband, Sandy.
Sandy provided, including comments on that draft.
Yeah,
What I did is I took a look at them, made changes that I thought were appropriate. I added some process items that I thought would be helpful. And to the extent that we needed to harmonize what was going on in our conduct policy, related some not household related stuff. So that's what I did. In terms of moving forward on this, we need an internet policy. This is workable. I would suggest you take a look at it, see if there are things that you can suggest. And let's play it out, because it's better to have a serviceable policy in place as opposed to no policy. So I would fight over it. I mean, I think actually the one that was originally told is workable. They've had some gaps and tried to fill those. But ultimately, I think what we want to think about is how do you manage it? And is there anything more structure that you might need? I mean, I think the issues are hard. I mean, if you're gonna have a problem, it's gonna be difficult.
Right. I looked back at some of what Sandy had done too, and I mean, she just raised a lot of questions, a lot of like hard questions. The only thing I was wondering, I thought this looked pretty good. Is there anything more that we to do? I mean, I guess illegal use, I guess illegal is defined and that there's a law and somebody broke the law. But then where we have, well, you know, what the staff believes to be obscene, indecent, blah, 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 is there anything more that we do around that? Or is that an area where you leave it?
I don't think it's necessarily a policy issue. I think it's a training issue. And I think somebody needs to think about it and decide what exactly constitutes inappropriate conduct. And I think really the lodestar there is you're probably talking about images rather than content, because who's going to see what you're reading? You run into the problems in connection with, you know, stuff involving probably anything involving sex is going to be problematic. But problematic in the sense that it'll offend somebody, but it's not necessarily inappropriate use. So the question, I mean, and you run into this in terms of filters. There was a time where you could not get anything that referenced a woman's breast,
Right,
which was preposterous.
right.
Except for National Geographic.
Don't get me started. And you run into a similar kind of problem, so that what one person believes is inappropriate, and it doesn't have to be sexually related, who knows what gets resolved.
Right,
The question is, how do you train your staff to handle a complaint? And probably, I mean, where I came out, and you probably intuited it from this, is that if there's an issue that a staff member thinks is problematic, given that it's public space and it's uncontrolled access, a discussion should be, well, there's a threshold issue as to whether a discussion should be had or not. Because maybe someone's complaining about something that is not problematic, but it bothers that person. But assuming that it becomes an issue, the question is whether you want to speak to the patron and say, look, it's public access location, people can see it, it's bothering the patron. If it's a problem, you can say, could you not do it? And they would say that yeah. But the question for being, is it really problematic, and whether you want to, and that's the tough issue. Because it's situational and contextual. Depends who's around, it depends what it is.
If it's a kid, for example, that's overhearing the.
and
So those are what the issues are, but the question is, what's the appropriate way to manage it? And it's sort of, you would hope that in a community with people of goodwill, if something is bothering someone, they might just say, fine, I won't. But then again, if someone is imposing their particular perspective on someone, which is not reasonable, there's sort of no reason to control to the lowest common denominator or the most sensitive of people. That's really hard. And it's hard to figure out from a policy standpoint what exactly you do. And I think that's really what the issue is. obviously I didn't resolve that in this, it
Mhm.
just sort of. No, I mean, but if basically there's something that's. Someone's looking at something. And if the staff member thinks it's offensive. I think probably the best policy is to speak to the patron, say, please don't, if you got a problem with it, release it with the director. You've got an appeal process. I mean, there's probably nothing emergent about that person having to look at that particular material on that day.
Mhm.
So it seems to me that the best course, which is not necessarily something the patron will agree with, the best course is to defer it, think about it, make a decision about it,
Mhm.
and provide some sort of process for review. Becomes more problematic if someone objects, staff member thinks that is offensive, and a person says no. You don't want to put your staff in jeopardy of creating incident.
Mhm.
And probably the best course is probably just to speak to one person, say, we have this problem, we think it's inappropriate. And come on and speak to them. Or,
But to date, there has been no issue at all ever. In the library that you're aware of.
which sort of informs my view of all
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
Right,
It's not to say that you won't have a problem.
Right.
You only need one.
exactly. Only need the one. Yep, you only need the one.
It's useful to have a policy or
Mhm.
procedure, or at least structures of your reaction.
Mhm.
Your policy isn't gonna ensure that you handle it correctly, or that it won't blow up into something, but at least it provides some structure for the interaction.
Mhm.
It's a tough area. I mean, this is probably a little easier than that movie,
Mhm.
in the sense that you're really just talking about probably graphic material
Mhm.
and pictures. And one would hope that, and probably our experience suggests that it's not much of a problem.
None that I've ever seen, that we've ever had an issue with. Actually, we did, but that was with my son who just happened to get onto the computer and started typing in whatever he wanted and came up with a very scary image for him, and he was only like 4 years old, so that was one of my like. I need to be watching you better. So.
Clearly, you take the 4-year-old by the collar and throw him.
I should have.
What are you doing?
But yeah, no, in terms of the general public, no, we haven't ever had any issues that I've known of. Like.
But I know.
Yeah.
When you got the policy, you really need to just speak to everyone who might be in a position
Mhm.
to interact with the public as to like what protocols,
Okay,
which is a little different than the policies. I mean, you might want to mirror the policy and protocol and say, ask them this, well, I sort of sketched that out, I think.
yeah, no,
But I'm
I
not sure that that was the best place.
And is it a non-issue with the tablets because we're just gonna be
they'll be wiped
wiping everything clean before
before.
they're ever seen by anybody again, so, yeah.
I mean,
that's-
the observation with respect to somebody working on their own computer or phone and, you know, sharing it or whatever, creating a problem, it's sort of the same issue. Really doesn't make a difference, quite frankly, whether it's our computers or someone else's.
Mhm.
If it's available, I'm showing.
Yeah, it's sort of like, take your computer, take it outside.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
You don't need
I
to
sort of
do
feel
it.
like, is there a thing that we can be like, well, you can take the tablet somewhere more private?
Yeah. it's-
Look at this image. I mean, just don't do it in front of everybody.
It's
You know?
the issue is access so much as the sensibilities of the.
Right.
Mhm.
Right, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go and suggest like private room for anybody.
Well, don't go that far, I'm just saying, somewhere where you can turn it to the back, you know, turn it away from the
I
public.
think if it's their own computer, I would definitely say, if you need to look at this, please do it in your own space, not here. But, yeah, no, once this is, I think, completely set and ready to go, it'll be a good thing for me to just bounce off with the staff and have.
Yeah, I think what. You gotta take it home, take a look at it. I mean, we can do a SharePoint to, if you want to come. I have absolutely no pride of authorship, maybe we're just working through it, because I think where the problems and where you might refine a little bit more. But I think at the end of the day, there's no perfect policy that will, you know, answer all your questions. If you find a crank who's being uncooperative, you're gonna have an issue.
Right. I have two other quick questions just on the code of conduct, which so second to last page, second to last bullet about children in the library. Children 12 and over may work independently at the library with parental permission. What does that look like, parental permission? Like to us, like are the parents giving us permission? Are they giving the kids,
Like
like,
giving the kids permission, we have to assume that the kids are there because the parents said it was okay.
so, but if we don't know that, like how, like, should that actually be in there? Like, we don't know if they have permission or not.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that
That's a good
opens it
point.
up to us checking that there's permission.
Yeah, and we don't ever check for permission, then
Yeah.
we have to assume that it's the parents are saying it's okay.
Yeah.
So that's, maybe we need to take that out.
Seems like maybe we should. I don't know what you think, Scott.
Yeah, no, I didn't do those things, that's. I was thinking, it wasn't fucking bicycles.
Yeah, I think if we really can't or don't intend to check with parents, then we shouldn't be in there.
Mhm.
It's misleading. Everyone.
And then the last bullet, this is sort of silly, but buying and or selling goods or services is not permitted in the library on library property. But like, what about when we have events where we specifically are selling stuff and having people sell stuff?
It's obviously under the purview of the library.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we needed to, like, again, it probably would never come up, but if somebody's like, well,
I mean,
Unless
it's
there's-
independent sales of stuff is what we're
yeah,
But still.
prescribing, right? So we have to say that, but if somebody's trying to sell their own stuff.
Right,
And it's not
right.
for the benefit of the library,
mhm.
and that's no good.
Yeah, so maybe elaborate on that statement.
Yeah. So Scott, what do you want us to do? Send feedback directly to you?
Yeah.
And then we'll approve it next month. Goals be to approve it next month with those changes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was just focusing on these.
Yeah, just
Okay,
figure
I
out.
was looking at it going,
Uh,
either I've lost my mind and editing things and I have no recollection of it, but I was just trying to. You know, harmonize the stuff on the internet with.
Yeah.
The prohibition stuff, you know.
All right, thanks, Scott. All right, so any other further discussion on this? Building and grounds, so you want me to give the Blake update?
Either way.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we haven't had a chance to meet yet, but we have had conversations, and Melanie's son Blake is interested in weeding for us. And so we're planning to move forward with that. We're thinking of paying him $20 an hour, which is I gather what he's getting for other work that's similar. And I'm assuming that for no good reason, but I'm making an assumption it might be 6 hours worth of work.
I have absolutely no idea.
If it was, it would be $120. We do have money in the budget for it, and we do need it. And so he would do that and weed and mulch.
So I think we got mulch in the shed still, like,
Oh, really?
I think there's like at least 2 bags or maybe more. So if that's not intended for anything else, we can have him do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's supposed to meet Joan Claire Monday morning,
Oh, okay, good.
and she's gonna point out what needs to be done,
Okay.
what's poisonous and what's dangerous.
Okay.
So
That she's
maybe we
concerned
should
about.
cap his hours, say, up to, just so we're not going beyond something we're comfortable with, whatever that would be.
I guess so, but it needs to get done, and unless
Yeah.
anybody is volunteering to do it, I don't think we're gonna
He's
find
not gonna
somebody.
do it and- Yeah, it's.
I don't
not
know.
Taking 20.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we can put some limits on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just, it's kind of a disgrace at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Poisonous or dangerous, is there anything on the grounds that is?
Yes, apparently there is.
Yeah, there's pokeweed growing in the grill, which is, once the berries ripen, they're poisonous, so they've got a hold of it.
Sounds like you're gonna be removed.
Oh, yeah, it's going,
That's
that's
what's
what they're,
going,
that's
yeah.
what he's gonna, John Claire's gonna show.
Yeah, tiny white flowers will become berries, which are toxic, and the thistles, were 5 feet tall. She cut them down because they had huge, thistles, yeah, whatever, spiky things, but they need to be dug up. And dock as well. But that's what I hate about gardening. You dug up all that dock last year. It just comes right back.
Actually, I've got a good spade
Yeah,
to dig those things up, so if someone's gonna work on those, I can bring them.
okay,
Spade over.
If
You
you-
won't get your entire root, but it's
okay.
way better.
sure he
than
would've-
I've used.
Because it's really sharp, I mean, is that the thing?
Well, it's long, it's, I
Mhm.
mean, because these are all taproot plants.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And you really need to get the taproot out,
Yeah.
or else it just grows back, and this is a much better tool for getting it out.
if you don't mind him borrowing it, yeah, Monday, that would be great for Monday.
Actually, for this.
Burdock,
Yes,
burdock,
I know. It's big, yeah.
burdock, and with the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
burst,
it's just like. Well, I mean.
Mhm.
but
stick to your
that's it.
dog and your clothes, yeah.
They get stuck to the box one.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My mom's dog,
Oh, yeah.
ate one, he was stuck to him and he started to eat it. We're driving down 43 and he's choking. We're like, it's going to pull over.
At least he tried to get it off when he saw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And apparently bread and peanut butter is was what you're supposed to do to help it get down, so.
did it come?
He
did
got
lose
enough,
it?
yeah, he got enough of it up that he stopped choking
Okay,
on it, yeah.
But then he still had
He still
swallowed
had
some of
kind of
the
like, he was still like,
Uh,
you know, like.
bread and peanut butter. That's good to know.
And we still need to schedule the meeting so that we can talk about the other things that need to be done with the building and grounds, aside from the oakweed and the burdock and the weeds and the mulch.
Tell me when you think of one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Schedule it.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Where are we with Paul?
I haven't had a chance to get in touch with him, so he's on my list for next. So
Is it next month that we get the official?
they said. it could be
Announcement?
June or July, they. it doesn't-
Okay.
doesn't have a specific
Are
date.
you done with school on the eighth?
Never.
Are you free like in the morning? No.
I can, yeah, I can.
Okay, because I'm thinking maybe what we could do is we could do a marketing committee / building and grounds.
Okay, yeah,
All at the
let's
same
say that.
time, we're doing that on the eighth, probably at 9 o'clock is what we usually do, right?
The eighth, I have
It's a-
nothing officially on my.
It's a Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just add that as,
It's the first day back from vacation, so I'll just extend it a little
okay, cool.
longer.
And it's my birthday, so we're gonna wanna make it really fast.
What time?
Well, the marketing meeting will be from 9 to 10, so say 10 to 11 and we'll be done.
Kim's not here for equity challenge. Youth. The youth.
Actually, everything was covered.
Covered.
because Kim has been doing, so much. So not really anything else to say, but sorry that, no.
I have
Yeah.
one.
Very upset.
I have a question about the issue that came up regarding like people who live in Stephentown who are like grandparents or whatever to kids who are gonna be with them in the summer, who wanna come to camp, and if we want to come up with a policy, if not for this year, but for next year.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
It happens almost every year. Sometimes we say yes, sometimes we say no. So we have to have something to fall back on and say, this is our policy for this. PJ was very much like. It's up to you guys. You know, you're the one paying for it. It's up
Yeah.
to you. So we should have something that we do to figure that out.
In term, would there be something to consider? I mean, I guess it's their decision, but to consider, I mean, because I think they and us want the enrollment to be robust. And So would there be an opportunity to say like, well, there's a discounted rate, like the kids don't live in Stephentown, but you do, and they're under your care. So
yeah.
like, let's do a half rate or something.
Most people are like, I live in Stephentown, so I'm paying for my taxes.
Right, but if your taxes don't pay for your kids, so it would be a way to maybe
At least,
give a little.
yeah, I don't think that would be a horrible thing to ask,
Okay,
but I think we'd have to have some discussions about it with the town as well.
Okay.
Because maybe we go during a
the
workshop.
workshop, yeah, the next workshop meeting or something and just kind of, because I feel like we should do it now when camp is on our minds rather than later, and then we'll forget to do it, and then we'll be like, oh, we didn't do it yet. Okay, all right, so maybe we can do that at the July.
Because
Issue is.
The issue is that we have grandparents and aunts and uncles who either have invited their children to their nieces, nephews, grand, whatever, to come and stay with them for the month of July so that they can specifically attend as camp. Versus they're gonna be with me during the day. Is it okay if my son, my kid can't take me, but they don't live in Stephentown? The kids don't live in
The kids.
Stephentown. Yeah, so. Is it right that a child who doesn't live in Stephentown, whose parents don't pay taxes to Stephentown? Are they allowed to come to camp versus, so it's just one of those, we just need to have a policy on it and figure out what the town wants to do. PJ wants as many people to come to camp, doesn't want to, stop anybody from coming, but we have to have something that we can say, because I've had the question come up. Some days, some years it's been, sure, no problem, we'll overlook that, and some years it's been, yeah, no, that really can't happen, so we have to just have something that this is the way it is.
Because it depends on enrollment or
It would
because,
depend on
Yeah.
enrollment, yeah, I mean, if that kid gets to go to camp for free versus the kid who lives in Cherry Plain, but they
Yeah.
can't go for free.
Yeah.
One way
What's
to
the
deal with it.
What's that?
One way to deal with it, is basically to give priority to kids who live there. And space as available.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely, if we could do it as a policy that way, that would be great, we have to have something that's.
Yeah, no,
In writing.
That's a good idea, like the people who live here first, the kids who live here first have first dibs.
That's how it always is, and then if you have someone who is out of town, it's then based on, who first come, first serve. But that's people who are paying, so now we have we have the people who live in Stephentown, we have the people who don't live in Stephentown and are paying. We then have in the middle relatives of children who don't live in Stephentown and are not paying, where are they on the list? So.
Well, but a resident of Stephentown would be paying taxes.
Right, but their kid is not, the parents of their kid, so that's the.
Grandchild. I understand that, but the tax rate is based upon a real estate valuation.
Mhm.
So the relatives who don't have the kids are paying the same amount of taxes.
Yep.
Anyone else in Stephentown is.
Right, so I think it's like, we just have to have that specific.
Sure.
Coming, but I'm fine, I mean, the more the merrier, but.
So why have we said no in the past?
Because we don't have the space and we don't have there's never been anything that said, yes, we can, but we
Okay, yeah.
can't, so it's like.
So that policy or,
Yeah,
Cause it is a little, you could
yeah,
see it quickly kind of,
snowflake.
that it could
Right.
be a little, could get
Right.
ridiculous or something, people,
yeah.
my third cousin from whatever is.
I'm sure there are stories about need there, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I'm totally like, let's do it, but we just need to make sure that because.
Can't show favoritism, like, oh, I know these people, and so, yes, but I, so yeah, I think
Exactly.
you're right, we need to do it based on a policy, yeah.
That's my concern is that people will say, oh, well, so and so, why can't I, so it's just all that. So,
Yeah.
when is the next meeting? that we-
July. July 8th. July 8th, busy day.
Okay, big day. So I'll just plan on coming into the town board where. You wanna just do that?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Anything else on youth? Okay. new business. So I believe our new business item is potential new board member. If Natalie, if you are continue to be interested in joining, okay. All right. So we will, so let me just, I was just pulling up so I can say officially. So this would be, this is always the confusing part. Okay.
The term.
Yeah, the term.
Years.
Yeah. So we have 4-year terms, but they also. So you would be taking over an open seat that has a term end in 2027. So another 3 years, and then you would be up for your own term, and you can do 2 terms after that. Okay.
Keeps on giving.
So yeah, so it's Patty's seat, so it's seat number 9. So we'll update the spreadsheets accordingly. But do you have any questions for us or anything you wanna, before we go ahead and take a vote? Yeah. How many recipes are you giving?
Actually, I'll have my husband.
Excellent, all right.
Count on 2.
Okay, good, all right.
I've got plenty of recipes. Maybe I'll just assign people's names to.
Perfect, yeah.
That might be wrong, but I'm shameless.
Might take it.
Full be vegetarian though.
Maybe I could put a gluten free one in there.
We would like that, yeah.
We're gonna have a diabetic.
Yeah, people,
section.
yeah.
It's like maybe like a special diet.
Yeah. For the weirdos in your life, here's the section to go to. That's me too, vegan, vegetarian. Okay, so I guess what we do is we usually just have you step out for, is that what we usually do? Step out for a second? No?
Usually just vote.
We usually.
That's what you usually do, but if you
Yeah, I think you stepped out, yeah. Stepped out from.
Sorry, I'm wrong.
I'll come back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Oh, do we, do we keep this on recording?
I don't know.
Does anybody have any objection to it recording?
Involved with any of the executives.
Yeah. Okay.
But it won't make a difference. It's nice to say.
Right. Anybody have anything to discuss?
No, I'm
Okay.
all on board.
All right, so a motion to appoint. Oh, I gotta get the wording, but yeah, to take over the
Take over the open seat.
seat,
number 9.
open seat of number 9.
Why don't we say assume?
Okay, yeah. I'll get the language from the last time. I know it's always, okay. So can I get that motion?
I'll make a motion that,
Okay.
Mary Ann take over, assume, seat number 9.
Okay, so Sarah and Scott second. Okay, all in favor? Okay, great.
Okay, so let's wait a couple more minutes.
What? You're gonna grab her, thank you.
Man, that's like a little.
It's not quite the whole hat and the pencils and the fire department, everything, you know? Yay, thank you for joining us. Okay,
Yes.
exactly,
So
get right on it.
So I'm gonna need your picture and your bio for the website.
Okay,
I'll take a picture of some, maybe,
not today.
no.
I'll make sure it's a good hair day, not whether it was.
I'm happy to take a picture whenever you want me to, so just let me know.
Okay.
Definitely, you're.
It's not forefront of my mind.
Having your picture taken for the website. I mean, come
It's
on.
not.
You can just take a look at the website and see what we have for the people. You don't have to write anything big. And Richard just gave me the list.
Oh, you want like a little write up too?
Yeah.
Okay,
We are.
I'll look and see what you guys put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, if you don't feel like writing anything, just give me bullet points and I'll make it into something.
That's what you say,
All right, does anybody have any other new business?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna skip the planning calendar for the moment. Old business, so bank changes a new CD, so we talked about that already. We'll have to wait for the CD for Richard. So cookbook fundraiser changes, so, we had a meeting, I think we had a couple meetings to talk about the fundraiser part of the event part of the cookbook. So this would be when we are, inviting people to come as a fundraiser, but also, inviting people, the agreement we talked about last time was the board will cook food for it, so we know that we have our bases covered. We invite people to bring their dish if they want to, and just have it as a fundraising event. And so we've talked about two changes to it, and Sarah jump in and Deborah jump in. Two changes to it. One is regarding the date, and one is sort of the structure of the like the tickets and the fundraising part of it. So the dates in question, so Sarah has confirmed with Fort Fat Fowl that both are possible. So we had 11/2 was the first date that we had run with. And then we were looking at 11/16. And the concern, and Deborah can speak for herself and say it more eloquently, and the concerns that she has around the election. So the second is the Saturday before the election. 16th is obviously after the election. So the concern is, are people going to be sort of no room to hear a message about the library, not wanting to go out ahead of the election, distracted by all of that on the second, and would after the election be better? And for the and we have looked at, we can't do much earlier because October is fairly booked with events. And
Yeah,
then,
because we had originally proposed late October in the proposal and then. that didn't
yeah,
work out.
yeah, we ended up with conflicts. And then, yes, we are. That's for the 29th. So that's which leads into the point of, you start to get very close to a lot of holiday things. So we have kind of a small window at this point that we could look at where we think that we could be successful with not being in the middle of the holidays and not in the conflicts with the October dates. So we wanted to bring it to the board to get a buy-in, because obviously everybody's agreed to support this and cook for it and everything else. So we need to make sure people are good with the date. We did talk to, I think Polly had suggested, well, let's talk to some people that we think would come and see if they have any thoughts one way or the other on it. I talked to a couple people who were also fairly politically interested people. And their thought was they didn't think the election itself had an influence on what they preferred. But both of them were like super adamant that the big thing is don't go anywhere near the holidays. Don't go anywhere. That was the big concern. But they didn't think that they had any particular leaning one way or the other. And thought that probably if their concern might be more with after the election because of how volatile it could be, and the unknowns. That's hardly a scientific study. I just talked to people that I've ran into in different venues. I talked to somebody else who's not particularly political, just again, didn't really seem to, no strong opinion.
I asked my book group women in Chatham, and there are about 8 of them, and they're very political. And they said they kind of like the idea of having something to get it off their mind for a few hours before, so they like the earlier date, but again, it's a small sample size.
So do you want to say more?
Just do what you want to do.
Well,
Just do what you want to do, really.
it's really just about picking the date that we think is going to work okay, so.
Go ahead and do that. I can't, I have 35 years of doing this work.
Well, that's what I want you to be able to.
Cannot say,
Deborah, this is your chance
do
to talk to the board about the concerns, so we have the.
everything that Oli has always told me, and everything that you would read on the internet in terms of, full of philanthropy, all the experts, right, would tell you not to schedule a fundraiser the week of the election. And that this year is particularly, some very bad things could happen. I mean, for me, I know these last few elections, I'm just like,
Yeah,
like,
tired of everything.
yeah, right, I just wanna sit with my cat on the couch, that's it. And also what happens too is, depending on what the organization is, it's difficult to lift up your mission when the things that are if we're a different organization, it might be different. But it is difficult to lift up the mission of this particular organization when so many other things are at stake. And so that messaging becomes harder to do.
Mhm.
I believe this, I know this, but you know your audience, and you think that the date is fine, then you should do it on that date. That's it,
Well, I think another question is just in terms of the board, since we really want everybody to be there, what works best? It's either one bad for any of you. Is the second bad or is the 16th bad?
I don't think so. By the way, if you do it afterward, you can, no matter. Create messaging around what has happened at the election more easily than being in a place where you don't know how things are gonna go. Yeah.
And of course, the election might not be over. That's the other thing.
But yes, we have read through that before too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never over.
Uh,
Both things are fine for me. We're just-
I mean, November 2nd is really close to Halloween too, and I mean, I don't know if the groups intersect with, the people that go to a fundraiser and Halloween posts, but, I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I have both weekends available. So. I just checked my school calendar too, and they're both free.
Okay,
Either one.
yeah.
Scott?
Either is free to leave whatever you guys decide.
Okay. Kim?
I'm free for both.
Okay.
My husband has said no. When he heard the original date, it's like, there's no way.
Okay.
What's the original date?
The second.
The second. Saturday.
So when are we doing that?
Yeah,
Go with the 16th.
Well, the 16th?
is the 16th better than?
I always think after an election was better.
Yeah.
Again, that is the not knowing, it's very, very real. But the things that could happen, especially this. A lot of firsts about this election, and some things could happen that really shake the nation,
Think about it this way, we all got in.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have an appetite.
Um,
Nervous.
There's gonna be drinking there though, right?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Red wine and beer, yes.
Look, I've
There
only
you go.
lived in Stephentown for a year and a half, so if you know people and you feel that. This is something like you said, your friend,
Well, they wouldn't be coming because they're not Stephentown,
Mhm.
so they're not really they're just.
they're not allowed to come.
You're right, yeah.
I react to these things because I've experienced that, I've worked through them, but. And, there's certain things about people that. Is universal.
Mhm.
I called a friend of mine and, who's been at a fundraiser for a long time, still working, and she's like, oh no.
Mm-hmm,
Starts back,
mm-hmm.
you know, so.
Yeah, well, if there's not, we just brought it to the board, so we're good.
Okay.
And we already got approval from Selena on it.
Right,
so
yeah.
She's assuming we're moving forward with the 16th, so
Yeah.
that's good. Hopefully everybody will have moved to Costa Rica.
Okay, so the other, did we have what the part with did we already decide on the ticketing and all that?
Yeah, I think we decided
The
that.
tiered approach, right?
It's tiered, it's an open free bar, I mean, pay cash bar, but if you submit a recipe, I mean, the question would be, is it if you submit a recipe or if you bring
Uh-huh.
a dish? You get one free drink ticket, and so we have a ticket for that,
Mhm.
and otherwise it's
So it's gonna be
cash bar.
$35, right? $35 for a basic ticket, which is just to go in and enjoy.
Mhm.
And then it was $50 for, and you get the cookbook.
And there you're getting the cookbook at a little bit of a discount, so it's
Mhm.
not like it's.
Right. And then,
I'm confused, then the $50 ticket?
huh?
So the $50 ticket, you get admission as well as the cookbook, so that you're getting some.
Is entry, $50 is the cookbook. Entry.
Entry in the cookbook.
So like if a couple goes, then they can do $135.
One
ticket.
ticket,
Yeah.
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 Now, Paula mentioned that she thought it might be a good thing for staff to be able to come for free.
Mhm.
And it's not like we have a lot of staff, and that would mean that these people would be.
I am gonna make sure we have tons of staff by the time this happens. 12 people.
What do you think about that? And then they would probably be willing to help out a little bit with. Yes.
I think so. Mhm.
Do we want to pursue a winery or a,
Yeah, we still need to do
brewery?
that. We're
Yeah.
gonna go talk to various wineries and breweries in the neighborhood and see if we can get some discounts, get cheap stuff, or have them come and present their wares for free if they're willing to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works really well. We can do that.
Cool, so we'll keep moving forward on that. Mark the calendars. Okay, wanted to mention, on the AEDs, so we applied for a grant that, Upper Hudson forwarded to us, that is with the Troy Savings Bank. And they are funding, AEDs for public places. And I spoke to the woman who's running it. It sounds like did I already say this last time? I feel like I'm repeating myself. It sounds like they're really gonna try to do what they can to fund all of the requests, but they are doing it in different cycles. So the first cycle, we applied for that, in May, as soon as it opened. And it's a very basic, very like pared down application process and stuff. They're from their normal thing. And, so that we should hear the beginning of July, and that would be for the AED for the library. So I'm hopeful that we will get that, and it sounds like if you don't get it in the first round, it kind of rolls over into the second round, et cetera, et cetera. So, they do think it's gonna be popular. A lot of people requesting it, so we'll see how that goes.
Are they doing it on a first come, first served basis? or
No,
are they-
no,
they're
it's a-
Still looking at them.
Yeah, still looking at them. So we'll see if we get that. So, we did get the AD for the camp, so that's in the library right now, just so it's somewhere. We'll have to talk about where to put it. I think I don't know if we need to hang it there or if we just want to have it in the box and then be able to just pull it out, take it for the school trips and all that kind of thing. But we'll see. So that's where that stands. If and when we get the when we get the AD for the library, we can do training for staff. And I was also thinking we could do the regular programs that come through. Like, it doesn't have to be the AHA course kind of thing. It can just be quick training, hands only CPR and how to use the AED for like yoga group for
That's not a bad idea.
Mahjong, like if people are interested,
Yeah.
just offer it to people, regular users.
Could we offer that as a program to the library? Like
Yes.
for the library?
Yeah.
So we could just say, we're gonna teach people how to use an AED, that way if you know where, if you're in a place where somebody is. or
Yeah.
There is one, you know what to do.
We could decide if we want, it might be better to do the little bit more, like one of the AHA programs that has a little bit more of the teaching and stuff with it too. But definitely I've been wanting to do some stuff
If
like
we
that,
can
so.
do that, that would be great.
Yeah.
I think that would be a huge.
Yeah.
A huge help. So,
Definitely.
yeah, if we can schedule something with you and I, we can.
Yeah,
talk
we can
about
talk,
how
yeah.
much- That'd be great.
Okay, insurance, Kim already talked about that.
Were
Yes.
you able to move forward with the insurance that we'll need for, the liquor license,
know
the
that.
rider?
I didn't know that I was doing that.
Yeah, there's, in the proposal, we have insurance and we just needed to get that, rider for selling liquor.
We'll have to wait until we've switched over
Yeah.
to Metswood and make sure
Yeah.
that all of that stuff
Right.
is settled, so.
Yeah.
You get like kind of like a day pass for it.
Right, yeah.
Mm.
The Karen or?
Yeah, what,
Oh,
what Selena said she needed was. A certificate of insurance for the library naming Fourth Ave Fowl as additionally insured for the event to be.
oh, that, yeah, that we can get, that
That's
takes like a day, or not even, but. In terms of the, whatever we're gonna need for the permit for the.
Oh, no, I'll do that. No, I'll do that. Oh, yeah, I'm
No,
doing that,
just
yeah.
the Fourth Ave
Just
Fowl
the
needs to
lot,
be
yeah,
covered
insurance.
as any liability if something were to happen.
Okay. Like I said, we'll have to wait till we finish.
Yeah,
Transferring stuff.
and that'll be like, as long as it's ahead of time, it should be fine. Yeah.
We could even get that the day of if we need it, like if it
Yeah.
came down to that, it's.
Yeah, yeah,
it's pretty
And
easy.
it's a long ways off.
Yeah.
All right, no public comment. Correspondence, there were just a couple things that came through that I wanted to share. So one of them is Loren forwarded along a program that she came across called I partner with my public library award. And it's kind of an interesting thing. It's an award celebrating community collaborators. So it's kind of an interesting program. My interest in it is less about like winning the award, but I think it could be a nice way to, by submitting it, could be a nice way to acknowledge some of the collaborations we have, particularly with the town and the youth commission, and the fact that, camp and all the programs and stuff like that, more just as a way to acknowledge it and build some stronger ties. So it's something that they accept them through the end of, the end of August. Decisions are in October. It's not money or anything like that anyway. It's just acknowledgement. But if we were to, tell them we're doing this and share it and then publicize it, I think it could be a nice thing, especially ahead of the 414 and all that kind of stuff. So that is there in the drive along with a link to the website about it. I don't know, I know that you had looked at it and Sarah had looked at it. I don't know if other people had a chance yet, so, any other thoughts or concerns?
The only thing that I had thought when I looked at it was that the town seemed like the best candidate.
Yeah.
But if Berlin keeps moving forward with these scholarships for kids to attend camp, which is connected to.
Yeah,
Then we could also say the school system.
Well, it's
That's
actually,
the
it's
town
the,
itself.
yeah, it's at the library. It's the Berlin Library.
Oh, it's the Berlin Library, okay, then.
And they're getting individual donors to donate to do that, so it's
Oh, I
not like
see.
it's
Okay,
coming out of
so
their
it's not-
budget or anything.
Not really the organization, okay, never mind.
all right, so we'll look at that a little bit more closely and see if we can move forward with that. Kim forwarded a really interesting email, that had some information about marketing library budget votes, so the 414. So there's good tips for what we can and can't say, some of which we knew, but there was a new little twist, and maybe others knew this. But, so we could decide that we wanted to form a group of people. It can be trustees, friends, that could register as a political committee. And then they could, be able to have the messaging that's not just informational. It does not have to be a friends group. So I know when we've always talked about this in the past, we've talked about, well, if we had a friends group, they could do this. But we know there's some challenges with forming a friends group and all of that. So this sounds like, it's a different way to achieve that same kind of thing. The only thing is when I start to look at the documentation for what you have to do to, register as a political committee, I was like, oh, well, number one, I didn't get very far. I was like, this looks like a lot of pages. So I think we need to talk about, we need to regroup again around our approach to the 414 and what we're gonna be doing. And think if we actually really need something more than how we can inform people about it. But it is an option. So if people have a chance to look through that, if you haven't had a chance already, I think it would be helpful. At the very least, I thought the clarifications of what you can and can't say was good. Yeah, yeah, very
This is
helpful.
actually a really great resource. They email out, it's called, Ask the Lawyer, and you can email and ask a lawyer, and she does all this stuff for journalism and this thing to do. So it's great. It's got a lot of good info in it.
Yeah, it's beautifully written.
I got to go into the weeds.
Yeah, that's great.
So anyway, I think what we need to do is regroup on 414, and that can be part of that discussion, but people want to take a look at it in advance. And I think, was there one other thing? No, that was two of that. Okay. Anybody have any other correspondence or anything else to bring up before we? Okay.
I'm already thinking about the annual appeal.
Okay,
End of the year.
good.
So
Oh,
if anybody has any ideas, to speak with, you know. As we do now.
I was actually gonna ask, do you find, is there any kind of success in doing it earlier in the year? Like, say we did it in August instead. And might do like a second reminder. Is that not something that, or is it usually
Well,
only at the end of the year?
I mean. Summer's bad. Most people don't do any solicitation letters in the summer. They start doing it like in September, you might send something. And especially with the library, back to school, they can really have the importance of the library and very soft ask, and then come back and at the end of the year. But most people, they are used to giving during the giving season. So, and, some families, it's, decisions that they make together, on their Thanksgiving or towards the end of the year.
And for tax purposes, they're doing it right before the end of
Exactly.
the last week in December, because we
Yes.
get mail this month. We're like, oh, wait, we didn't do our thing. for our-
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, I mean. This is normal, you rely on that year-end appeal. If you were a bigger library, you would be scheduling out multiple asks over the course of the year.
And that reminds me, we did discuss with the dates of this fundraiser and everything, the concern around could it impact the annual appeal? I don't think we finished that full circle. So in addition to the tickets, Deborah suggested we have additional ask during the event as well.
Yeah.
So.
Doesn't hurt to ask, right?
Inviting.
Right.
That doesn't hurt. So, yeah, I mean, I think when you have a group of people that are getting together and they're already kind of in your corner.
Yeah.
You should take advantage of that opportunity and I think honestly, after the election, you know, you might be able to say something that could really move people to give. So we'd have to think about how we would do that and who would it be.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so, yeah.
Okay, so you're looking for annual appeal, ideas of who to talk to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, at the cookbook fundraiser, maybe even like a challenge or something. You know, that's what we just did at our reunion weekend, like, we had one alum that was willing to initiate a challenge, so he said it. Because it was his challenge, and it was to his peers and his, you know.
Huh, like a matching thing, like a.
Yeah. It sort of, he just said that he was gonna put up money towards bleachers and he wanted like his, you know, so. By him doing the ask, like it was the alumni, it was their weekend and it was him doing the ask,
Huh,
so, you know. But.
And was that
nothing like
spontaneous or was it planned ahead?
Sort of, no, it was sort of spontaneous, he's like, hey, I want, cause I was sitting next to him, he's like, hey, I wanna do a challenge, so give me the microphone, so. he
Wow.
Did it, yeah, yeah. So maybe something like that, I don't know. But. At least it's different and not, it's not just an ask, it's, you know, like another challenge, like we had one already last year, right?
Right, the summer one, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know,
okay.
just an idea.
Good, so, let's see.
Sounds like a recipe for.
Okay, so I just wanted to look real quick, because I forgot to finalize the planning calendar. I forget what I was waiting for, but I didn't do it, so I just want to look real quick to see if there's anything else we need to talk about that's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have in August, this August.
I haven't planned anything. But that's only because I haven't gotten to August really yet, so. It's not gonna be the same, I was thinking it would be summer reading, but it's not enough time, so I'm gonna put it, summer reading is gonna be the weekend before, or excuse me, after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could definitely come up with something that we can do, you know. I don't know, just as a community event, but, I haven't really come up, we were talking about doing the farming.
Right,
exhibit,
yeah,
but
but
I
that
don't know
didn't
how
really-
many farmers are gonna wanna come on a
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon
Yeah,
when they're doing farmers markets instead,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Um,
Although maybe market or swap would
Oh,
be really good for that.
that reminds me, I'm glad you said that, I'm so glad you said that, I forgot to mention,
oh, the tag sale.
yeah. So, the townwide garage sale is happening on the 13th and 14th. And so we offered, they were looking for yeah, thank you. It's like a general space. Where people who don't have a lot or who are in the boonies. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, so we are offering the library grounds for that. I did put it out there when I replied to them as you need to be a library card holder to do it. And like library card's free, so just come in and do it. Yeah, so when it got republicized, that wasn't in there, so I'm gonna add that again, but, so we'll see.
If you don't, you're getting one that day.
Right, exactly, yeah, you're getting one whether you want it or not. So I think that, I thought we could see if we talked about maybe seeing if there's an opportunity to do a bake sale or something, at the same time, so.
I do have a program that day, composting 101
Oh,
at 11 o'clock, so
Okay.
that might be even more of a lot of people are
Jeans, composting.
mushrooms, and all that thing.
is that gonna
But
be
that's the
outside or
tax
inside?
rate.
Right.
Yeah, that's the 13th.
Yeah,
Alright, so that's great, that's great.
okay, is that gonna be inside or outside your program?
I guess it can be wherever we want it to be. We're probably inside.
Okay, yeah.
Days?
Yes, yeah. Mhm.
I will not be here for that day, so I have a program of women in some place down south. I don't know where.
14th is the church picnic too, right? Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't put that one in my calendar.
Will it be outside in the parking lot then, or
I-
inside?
Not inside. I think it'll be outside
Okay.
in the on the grounds, so that people can,
Maybe
park where,
tables and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, have
Yeah,
tables,
the
yeah,
tables,
bring
that's
them.
great.
So I don't mind being here for those dates, but I definitely need at least a backup. So, okay, great, thank you.
I can be here, I just can't lift anything.
What's that?
I can be here, I just can't lift anything.
Okay, yeah, no, this would just be to
Well,
like,
neither
make sure
can
people
I.
don't leave stuff or,
Yeah. I can't lift anything
Okay.
either. So.
Well, you guys can be the brains of the operation and I'll be the brawn, all right?
I might do.
Sure, good, yeah, yeah. Does the library have anything that we need to get rid of?
Oh, my God. I'm sure we have lots of stuff we need to get
We
rid of.
do, let's think about it, yeah,
We need to put the buses out.
Yeah.
We still have animals that need homes.
okay.
Some of those DVDs.
Like what time?
I don't know,
Okay.
probably like 10 to something, look it up.
I mean, we could do like a little mini book sale,
Mhm.
not solicitor books. but
Right,
we
just,
just
yeah, come in and
save money. See.
Yeah.
okay. Cool. Great. All right.
But then what do we wanna do for the cheese event?
Yeah, no,
In the past, we've done markets during the same time. I've had programs like we did the drumming one year. One year I went all out and did a festival for kids where we did games and fun tickets.
That's cool, yeah.
It was a lot of fun and it was a tremendous amount of work, so I would need a lot of help with it if we did that again, because I did all the.
Maybe Cub Scout fair, that type of thing, like, I remember going to that when I was a kid and having the best time.
We
Like
did,
gave prizes and.
yeah,
games and-
that's exactly, we bought tickets and we got to do. There were different games, fishing.
Yeah.
Carnival type games, so, I mean, we could try, it's definitely a fun event, but. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That was not, I did that like 6 years ago.
I was struck when I went to that last year, to the cheese thing, that there were no children there really.
Right.
Mhm.
So they're not getting the people who have kids, but maybe they will come.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a drinking over there.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why, yeah.
The band and the beer, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we even had like the Girl Scouts.
9 AM to 2 is the tag sale, treasure hunt tag sale.
Beer afterwards, and.
It actually just says Saturday.
Yeah, I thought it was just the
really?
13th.
it's both. Are you looking at the right one? Cause it's,
I'm looking at Stephentown treasure hunt tag sale, Saturday, July 13th, 9 AM to 2.
cause I've got it pulled up. It's got 2 days. Well, we can figure that out.
Well, the ones I'm looking at just say. One day.
I think this might be popular, I might have to make it first come, first served. Well, yeah.
Mhm. Oh, we got a big lawn. We should be able to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, as long as the weather's okay. We don't have tent anymore or anything like that, but,
And hopefully it's not muddy.
right, yeah. Right now it's not, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
We're in a drought.
All the pine nuts there right now.
All right. Anything else? You can. I bet you'll get it seconded.
I will move to adjourn.
I second that.
All right. All in favor? Signify by getting the heck out of here. All right, thanks, everybody. Okay, stop.
Thank you for voting me in.